Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus, here live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It's the start of the week, Monday, the 30th of October 2017, and with the time about 10 minutes before the start of the working day, let's crack into what's making the news. So there's really one huge story coming through in all the papers today. Let's put a pause on that for a moment, have a look at what else is there. Let's start with City AM, which is talking about the budget deficit. Now, Philip Hammond, the Chancellor, faces a £20 billion hole in his deficit plans. That's according to the reports, and by a report by the Institute for Fiscal Studies, the IFS, which says that due to productivity forecasts being down, this does leave the situation where the deficit for the government could be up to £36 billion by 2021-22. Bad news for the government after the Treasury and indeed the government promised to eliminate the deficit by 2025. Clearly that wouldn't happen or be very difficult to achieve under these circumstances. And obviously, in terms of politics, the Conservative Party and indeed most of Parliament is putting a lot of pressure on the Treasury to commit more spending plans, this sort of anti-austerity movement which has come from the general election results earlier this year. Next story comes from, well, pretty much a Whitehall revolving door story. This comes from The Times. Norman Driscoll, who was a senior civil servant working for Theresa May in the Home Office, has managed to get himself a lucrative job in Amazon, but the problem here being that he oversaw lucrative government IT contracts with Amazon prior to taking that job with the company. The Home Office paid Amazon more than £1.2 million in the 18 months before Mr. Driscoll, Norman Driscoll, which is his name, left last November, The Times is reporting. The Times is also saying this broke the rules designed to prevent former civil servants exploiting public sector work for personal gain. Let's look and focus then at this main story. We've chosen the Telegraph and the Guardian to lead us into this. The Telegraph saying May will sack any sex pest ministers. Now, this is from the story which was over the weekend, reports that Mark Garnier, a Tory MP and international trade minister, breached ministerial rules after admitting he asked his secretary to buy him sex toys and referred to her and said things to her which many people and most people would deem to be inappropriate and overly sort of sexual in nature. This has basically caused a tidal wave of further allegations which have come out, unconfirmed, unverified, as of yet, against MPs across all parties in Parliament, which has led to the concern of what should Parliament be doing looking ahead. So Theresa May is reported in the Telegraph will sack any ministers that have proved to have behaved inappropriately. This continues as the Telegraph is reporting on further unverified allegations, including against some unnamed government ministers. The Guardian, MPs fear more sleaze claims will emerge. So Theresa May has also written to the Commons Speaker John Bercow to ask about how tougher rules to protect MP staff from harassment can be implemented and what can be done going forward. And Conservative MP Anna Soubry has also called for an urgent statement from Miss Leadsom, Andrea Leadsom, who's the leader of the House of Commons, on what can be done to ensure complaints are dealt with properly. So very interesting story. There's undoubtedly going to be more news coming out in the next few days, certainly today at least, so keep an eye on your political news feeds if you want to find out more about that. One more story then comes more internationally from Catalonia in Spain. The FT here, Catalonia's first day of direct rule puts Madrid authority to the test. Now, the region's government prepares for its first day under direct rule from the national government, Spanish government. Prosecutors are also considering filing charges of rebellion against Charles Puigdemont, who was the leader of the Catalan government who led the independence movement and indeed the illegal referendum in the country. The punishment for rebellion is jail for up to 30 years. So the leader of the Catalan regional government could face 30 years imprisonment if the Spanish government prosecutors or Spanish prosecutors find him guilty of leading a rebellion. The question now is whether the government is going to the regional government is going to turn up for work today, even though they have been stripped of their power. Now, the Catalan government has not resigned so far, and indeed the leader, Charles Puigdemont, has indicated that it's going to be business as usual today. So he may still try and turn up to work, trying to say it's business as usual. That leads to a power struggle of who civil servants and who the Catalonian people are going to listen to, the national government or the regional government. Very interesting. That will certainly be in the news later on today as well. But that's pretty much it. You're up to date. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing here on Core Politics on our Facebook page and on Twitter right here. But from me and all the team here at Core London, have yourself a fantastic start to the week.